my grandmother. And she's been working on a project and she wants to share it with us. Right?
Say her name.
Oh, my grandmother, Lucy Taya Eats.
John, is that you? Oh, hello. Good to see you. I thought you were my husband John coming back from his walk. Did you hear we're moving? I'm looking forward to going back to Oklahoma and my Kaw people. I'm so excited. A little apprehensive too. We aren't getting any younger, you know. Let's see. This is 1955. That makes me 67. And John is 85. I've been packing today and look what I found. This old hat box full of memorabilia. And it's got me reminiscing. It's hard to believe we've lived in Lawrence, Kansas for over 20 years now. But Kansas University is growing so fast and they want to buy our property to expand campus. So it's a good time to sell. Oh, look. Here's a 1908 report card from Kaw Indian School. That's where I got my nurse's training many years ago. Looks like I was an average student. But keep in mind, we came right from the reservation and we had to learn a whole new language before we could even start studying. Excuse me. I'll miss Haskell. I've worked there off and on over the years, and I always make it a point to visit the Kaw children when they attend there. But every time I hear the crow go, caw, 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 I think, yes, I know I'm Kaw. And every time I see a sign for Kansas University or the Kansas River, I feel pride in knowing that this state and so many places here are named after my Kansa ancestors who called this home for over 300 years. We are known as the people of the South Wind. You know, there was a time when all of this area belonged to my people, and the buffalo hunting grounds extended clear out to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. But as more and more Europeans pushed westward, hungry for land, the government started making treaties that first put them on a reservation. And then with each new treaty, they were moved and the reservation got smaller until finally they ended up on a small reserve in the Neosho River Valley with the Santa Fe Trail running right through the heart of their home. People were decimated by disease like smallpox and cholera. They were once a proud, noble tribe of 3,000 or more with fierce warriors feared by all. But finally, in 1873, there were 533 people left, and they were forced to go to Indian Territory. It took them 17 days to walk the 165 miles to their new home. Nobody died on the way, but when they arrived, no provisions had been made for them. Soon, many more died of typhoid, malnutrition, and even starvation. Why, by the time I was born in 1888, there were less than 200 of us left, and the people were destitute. The elders all thought they'd been sent to Indian Territory to die. They gave away everything they had of value to a visiting senator from Kansas. I believe his name was Morehouse, including war bundles and a scroll they had received from the Aztecs. I was born in a teepee on the banks of Little Beaver Creek, close to where it flows into the Arkansas River. My Indian name is Chemi, which means little deer. We're of the deer clan. My father was Little Taya. My mother was Mojanaho. Her English name was Lizette Bertrand. He was Kaw and she was Kaw Potawatomi. I have a little brother too, Emmett, who's 3 years younger than me. When I was just 5, our father died. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Mother tried to care for us, but she simply didn't have the means. She ended up having to go back to her Potawatomi family and left us with the Kaws. Washunga was chief then, and he took us in. This was Indian custom back then. When I was a little girl, I remember Washunga riding his horse all over the reservation, visiting with the people. He was working hard every day, trying to make our lives better. The men were learning to farm and had started renting their pastures for income. But there was never enough to eat. The children were all sent to the Kaw Indian school, which we hated. The elders always told us that the Pawnee were our enemies. You know, I've lived in Lawrence 3 different times. The first time I came here, I was just 13 years old. I was sent to Kaw Indian school for an education. It was far from home and very lonely at first. But my brother joined me here 3 years later, and that helped some. But they cut our hair and wouldn't let us speak our language. I was put in the nursing department, and by the time I turned 20, I was a trained nurse. One night I went downtown with some other girls to see a play, and I met Bert Kimber. He was an actor from England and had only been in America for 2 years. He was 3 years older than me and swept me off my feet. He was funny and talented and so different than any other man I'd ever met before. I was infatuated and in love. 1920 was a memorable year for me. You know, Washunga used to visit us at Haskell when we were there. He would ride his horse and buggy